Alright, here we are. This thing has soaked way too long. Let's see, probably something like 22 hours. I didn't mean to. I meant to do it for like 8, but there's not much I could have done about it. So this thing drips all over, so you gotta be careful with it. You want to drain as much back into the can as you are able to, because this stuff isn't cheap. Now, the one thing I need to do, here we'll flip it around. Now you can see a lot of the carbon's gone. Let's see if it just wipes off or if it's a big pain in the ass. Okay, so you can see that there's carbon left after 22 hours. It was only 37 degrees outside, so this chemical reaction is going to be a little slower. Let me show you what they look like before they get touched. They're not really bad. It's not a, big problem here, but the sides are a lot different. They're quite a bit different. So make sure you guys can see all this. Everything's clean, the ring grooves, the sides, everything's really clean. So anyway, I think it's time to throw this one in some water, because that's the solvent for this this particular well, it's the solvent for the solvent. It's the rinse for the solvent. Let's just take a crappy old paper towel before we stick it in any solvent and try and get this off. What I wanted to do as minimal mechanical labor as possible on this. I mean, it did good. It just hasn't finished the job, so yeah, so you got to determine how much of a perfectionist you want to be. See, I'm dripping all over the place. That's why I keep standing over here. Well, let's try our old buddy Chinese Scotch-Brite. Yeah. Yeah, that's on there pretty good. So for about 22 hours worth of soaking, maybe 21 hours, somewhere in there, it still has some that needs to come off. So I can work on that another time. What I need to do is keep these soaking. So by the time my parts arrive, bearings and gaskets and all that stuff, this will all go back in. Now this is cylinder 1. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The only thing I needed to do while I was out here, besides this, is to check what size bearings are in here. Sorry I'm standing so away from the camera, but I can't help it. Okay, so let's see if we can get this out of here. There we go. Well, I don't know if you guys can read that. I don't think I can. Well, this says This says C-20. So does that mean, can you see that? Oh, the lighting's not real good. C-20. So is it 20 under? And these are original American Motors bearings, and let me show you how I know that. Because right there, it says AM in that circle. That's original. And what else does it say? It says 12-7, so that might be December of 87. And this is coming out of an 88, so that would fit. There's the part number, 319697, I believe. So I have to check these. These are not standard, I think. 0-20. So what we'll do is we'll check the other side as well. Make sure it's yeah. Ooh, come on, baby. Pardon me. We've had a lot of dust in the air lately, and it's just getting my sinuses, but good. Well, this says something else on it. C-6. So that's not a undersize or an oversize. And this says, there's American Motors symbol again, 12-7. Three one something, 3-1. 319-6697, 112 and 12-7, and it has an X stamped on it. So what does X mean? So these are original American Motors bearings. Chrysler owned them, but I think they were still using up all their huge volume of parts. And you can see the copper. So this is the upper bearing shell. It's gone right through the babbitt and it's down into the copper. So that's not good. I mean, it's 200,000 miles. The pistons are outstanding, but these bearings need some help. So I don't know what size they are. We have to look up these part numbers and find out, because that would suck, not knowing and having to order the wrong part. So, all right. Anyway, that's the that's the first piston soak, and it was a long time. So now what I'm going to do is I am not going to stop this video. I'm going to go find my drill. Except that's the problem. I don't know where my drill is. And I'm going to hook up the wire wheel and work on the top of these pistons of these just before I put them in there, because I don't want to contaminate this unnecessarily. There's a lot of carbon on that top surface, and if I can get rid of it, some of it at least, before I put it in there, it'll help. Okay, this is number 6. This is the one that I worry the most about. Let's see. It says American Motors on the, has the American Motors symbol on the piston. Let's see, so the front would be this way, so somewhere back here was where I thought I saw the scoring. Rings are doing good. Well, rings a little stiff. Huh. But, okay, so this is number 6, the rearmost. Runs hotter than the rest. You can see there's machine marks across here and a wear pattern down the middle. That's pretty standard. It's pretty thick still. So, and when I tried to rock them in the bore, there was no rocking. It was fine. Alright, so I guess I'm going to go find my drill. I shall return. Alright, so here's our two choices. You've seen me use this one on the cylinder head. And I like it. It worked really good. I'll probably use it on the block too. And here's a lighter duty one we'll start with. So let's see. Alright, can you guys see that? Oh, and the drill was right below the camera. Yeah. Yeah, but it's putting scratches on the aluminum. I mean, I kind of expect that, so is it worth it? It's not like I'm trying to keep them pretty. I'm just trying to keep them a little cleaner than I pulled them out. Alright, so what I'm going to get right now is your basic razor blade scraper. At least that's what I think I'm going to do. Here we go. Alright, so this one's number 2. Alright, let's take a look here. Yeah, I mean, that's going to leave a little scratching on the piston too, but it's not a ton of work anyway. You can get most of the crud off in like a minute's time and then go stick it in solution. It'll come a lot cleaner. And the solution will last longer. So whatever you think of this step, let's see. Okay. Yeah, there's some pretty sizable carbon right here. Make sure I got you guys in the frame because I can't see that eyepiece, that display very well. Okay, so there, that's coming. Yeah, it would be probably easier to do this in the engine, but it's already apart, man. I missed the bus. One loose torque converter bolt. But when you buy a vehicle you don't know anything about, this is how you find out. You take it apart. And now I know all about the engine. It's all original, just like I said it was in the first video or two. Never been apart. Okay, so you know, this is about as boring as it gets, so I won't feel bad if you fast forward through it. Okay. Just hope to God it's focusing, because not only cannot see, I can't do anything about it. There we go. Okay. Not so awful. Where it was still caked up pretty good was inside these grooves on the other piston that got soaked for almost a full day. Yeah, there you go. Make a sandblasting template, stick this in there and blast it off in 5 seconds. That would work. But then you got to make sure you don't get any of the carbon anywhere, or any of the blasting media anywhere around all these nicely lubricated parts. He says that as he's scraping off all this dry, dirty, abrasive carbon. I don't necessarily need it sterile right now. I just need all this carbon broken loose that's so heavy. I'm not watching the monitor, so pardon me if this seems like a rookie video. It pretty much is, but yeah, so anyway, okay, something to fit in here in this curve, because that surface is actually curved right there. I wonder what I could use that's curved that would fit in there and help scrape all this crap off. Oops, I got a piece of aluminum. Whoops. Huh. Well, it's alright. Anyway, these are original AMC pistons. That is not altogether bad. 32 years old, and well, no, this one's 29 years old. This is out of the 88. Okay. Yeah, this is where, right in here is where it needs to get going a little bit. Because that'll help. Wonderful. That's my phone. I'll be right back. The other thing I said I was going to show you guys was potential chatter marks, which at least this rod doesn't have any. You see the machine marks across that surface here? That's normal machining marks for a production engine. And what you'll see is these little chatter marks. Oh, you know, it varies between a 1/16 of an inch wide, plus or minus, and they go across there. What that is this is the rod cap bouncing on the end of there because the bolts are stretched, usually from way too much RPM. And yes, I've had that before in an old Mopar engine. But anyway, so hopefully you can see that. I can't. But they're okay. You see they're fine? So anyway, that's an important part of inspecting a motor. When you don't know anything about a vehicle, one of the best things to do is tear the motor apart. You know, I didn't need to, didn't want to, but I did. Here we are. Alright, that's it. I stuck, I'm about to stick this guy, put it together and stick it in a bucket of water so the solvent will dissolve, if you will. I'm not going to stick the big end of the rod in there at all, or the bolts or anything. So there. Probably didn't see that. Isn't necessary, but is it on the floor? Can you see it over there? I don't know if you can see it or not. This anyway, yeah, there's the bucket. It's sitting in there. I'll leave it for a bunch of hours, and temperature's a lot warmer. It's like 57 outside now. That chemical's probably pretty cold, but and that which means it'll work slower. But anyway, we scraped it a little bit with a razor blade scraper. We'll see if it speeds up the soaking, because everything around the rings and the skirts and everything were pretty darn clean. Alright, well, that's it for this part of the motor. As soon as I get the parts here and get all this cleaned, these bad boys are going back in that engine. And we'll talk about the use of two-stroke oil for that application. See ya, bye.